This is Python Chapter 6, Section B, Looping Through a Dictionary. As you have learned, dictionaries are similar to lists in that they store several pieces of information. Therefore, it is possible to loop through dictionaries like you do lists. However, because dictionaries have different parts, both keys and values, there are a few more options for how to loop through them. Of course, more options means different code to let the computer know which option to do. A single Python dictionary can contain just a few key-value pairs or millions of pairs. Because a dictionary can contain large amounts of data, Python lets you loop through a dictionary. Dictionaries can be used to store information in a variety of ways. Therefore, several different ways exist to loop through them. You can loop through all of a dictionary's key-value pairs through its keys or through its values. Before we explore the different approaches to looping, let's consider a new dictionary designed to store information about a user on a website. The following dictionary would store one person's username, first name, and last name. You can access any single piece of information about user 0 based on what you've already learned in this chapter. But what if you wanted to see everything stored in this user's dictionary? To do so, you could loop through the dictionary using a for loop. As shown at 1, for key value in user0.items. To write a for loop for a dictionary, you create names for the two variables that will hold the key and value in each key-value pair. You can choose any names you want for these two variables. This code would work just as well if you had used abbreviations for the variable names, like this, for kv in user0.items. The second half of the for statement at 1 includes the name of the dictionary, followed by the method items, which returns a list of key-value pairs. The for loop then stores each of these pairs in the two variables provided. In the preceding example, we use the variables to print each key, followed by the associated value. The N in the first print statement ensures that a blank line is inserted before each key value pair in the output. This helps to make sure that the output is easily readable. Notice again that the key value pairs are not returned in the order in which they were stored, even when looping through a dictionary. Python doesn't care about the order in which key value pairs are stored. It tracks only the connections between individual keys and their values. Looping through all key value pairs works particularly well for dictionaries like the favorite languages example, which stores the same kind of information for many different keys. If you loop through the favorite languages dictionary, you get the name of each person in the dictionary and their favorite programming language. Because the keys always refer to a person's name and the value is always a language, we'll use the variables name and language in the loop instead of key and value. This will make it easier to follow what's happening inside the loop. The code at 1 tells Python to loop through each key value pair in the dictionary. As it works through each pair, the dictionary is stored in the variable name, and the value is stored in the variable language. These descriptive names make it easier to see what the print statement at 2 is doing. Now in just a few lines of code, we can display all of the information from the pool. This type of looping would work just as well if our dictionary stored the results from polling 1,000 or even 1,000,000 people. The keys method is useful when you don't need to work with all the values in a dictionary. Let's loop through the favorite languages dictionary and print the names of everyone who took the poll. The line at 1 tells Python to pull all the keys from the dictionary favorite languages and store them one at a time in the variable name. The output shows the names of everyone who took the poll. Looping through the keys is actually the default behavior when looping through a dictionary, so this code would have exactly the same output if you wrote this rather than this. You can choose to use the keys method explicitly if it makes your code easier to read, or you can omit it if you wish. When reading others' code, you should remember that they could use either method. You can access the value associated with any key you care about inside the loop by using the current key. Let's print a message to a couple of friends about the languages they chose. We'll loop through the names in the dictionary as we did previously, but when the name matches one of our friends, we'll display a message about their favorite language. At 1, we make a list of friends we want to print a message to. Inside the loop, we print each person's name. Then at 2, we check to see whether the name we are working with is in the list friends. If it is, we print a special greeting, including a reference to their language choice. To access the favorite language at 3, we use the name of the dictionary and the current value of name as the key. Everyone's name is printed, but our friends receive a special message. Remember, it's not necessarily going through the dictionary in any specific order. You can also use the keys method to find out if a particular person was polled. This time, let's find out if Aaron took the poll. The keys method isn't just for looping. It actually returns a list of all the keys, and the line at 1 simply checks if Aaron is in the list. Because she's not, a message is printed inviting her to take the poll. A dictionary always maintains a clear connection between each key and its associated value, but you never get the items from a dictionary in any predictable order. That's not a problem because you'll usually just want to obtain the correct value associated with each key. One way to return items in a certain order is to sort the keys as they're returned in the for loop. You can use the sorted function to get a copy of the keys in order. This for statement is like other for statements, except that we've wrapped the sorted function around the dictionary, favorite languages in this case, .keys method. This tells Python to list all keys in the dictionary and sort that list before looping through it. The output shows everyone who took the poll with the names displayed in order. If you are primarily interested in the values that a dictionary contains, you can use the values method to return a list of values without any keys. For example, say we simply want a list of all languages chosen in our programming language poll without the name of the person who chose each language. The for statement here pulls each value from the dictionary and stores it in the variable language. When the languages are printed, we get a list of all chosen languages. That approach pulls all the values from the dictionary without checking for repeats. That might work fine with a small number of values, but in a poll with a large number of respondents, this would result in a very repetitive list. To see each language chosen without repetition, we can use a new data type called a set. A set is similar to a list, except that each item in the set must be unique. When you wrap the set method around a list that contains duplicate items, Python identifies the unique items in the list and builds a set from those items. At 1, we use set to pull out the unique languages in favoritelanguages.values. Notice we have 4 languages, but really only 3 because Python is twice. So our list is a non-repetitive list of languages that have been mentioned by people taking the poll. 1, 2, 3. As you continue learning about Python, you'll often find a built-in feature, like the set method, of the language that helps you do exactly what you want with your data. Here are the assignments for 6B. 6.4, 6.5, and 6.6.